would always been horses, always racing in the house and racing on and things like that. We would have lived on the edge of the Curragh, so I suppose we would have been either going going to the yards with my parents, and then obviously then started off having a pony like everyone does. And my sister Rob did the same. We'd come back from school in the evening, tack up the pony and head off across the Curragh. So we didn't have any farm or any land or anything like that. We were able to gallop across the Curragh, and would have had ponies from all the way along, kind of until we got to kind of the age of 14. And then would have got like a hunter and done a bit of. We wouldn't have been able to do any eventing or anything like that, but we would have went hunting with Charlie O'Neill's at the weekends and things like that. After I finished school, I went to Peter McCreary's for a while, and then went to Jessica Harrington's for 5 years. And Jessie would have been, at the time, she probably would have had 80 or 90 horses, I think. It was early kind of 2001. There for 5 years, kind of through, like I said, Max Joy, Moscow Flyer, and there was maybe only 2 or 3 flat horses with Jessie. She was never really into it, but the yard grew much bigger as I was there. Like, she went from maybe 80 horses to probably 150 horses when I was going. She got very big and had took off. Road winners for Jessie, would have had rides, got beaten, one they should have won on. Had plenty of bollicans off her, but learned a good bit. Used to start going down to Colin Murphy then. Colin was very good, road winners for Colin as well, and he gave me my first ride in Cheltenham in the King Muir. Spent the next kind of, I suppose, from 20s to 30s riding as an amateur and pointing. Started off then with the training. But it started off, I suppose, like a lot of people do with pre-trainers and breakers. Gradually then had the odd runner in a point, and then just kind of started off where we didn't have a place at home or anything like that, so we had to start off renting. It just got bigger, grew real slowly over the next 10 years, say the last 10 years. We're lucky enough then we ended up building the yard here. Ted gave us the site, myself and Casey, and we built the barn first. Kind of at the same time, Call Magic and Bay des Eels came along, and we were mainly on National Hunt at the time. We would have had a handful of flat horses, and Bay des Eels gave us a great profile. She was a real good mare. She went on, she ran the English National, Katie rode her, and she won a Williams Cup, and she won in a Grand National Trial, and she went on and won a Grade 2 in France. So she was kind of the big push to get us kind of going a bit more. This time of the year, say a little bit, some of the jump horses are gone out obviously, but we'd still have 45, 50 in. They'd be half and half, say it's half summer jumpers and half flat horses. So it's just kind of a nice number. They're running well at the minute anyway, thank God, so long may it last. There's a round 4 furlong sand gallop, seems to work well, and a straight gallop then, 4 furlong straight gallop as well. So the straight gallop is just really newly done. It's done last year, but with the winter we had on it, it has worked really well with the wet winter.
And the routine kind of stay simple enough to
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like they'll do a 2 and 2 or pretty much the same, and then they'll swing up the straight then a couple of days a week as well. The straight is a big help just to get that blow into them at home, and then obviously there's trips to the Curragh and things like that. But yeah, keep it simple enough. Horses love routine, I think. These horses know exactly when they come here after a couple of weeks what the whole thing is, and they're happy with routine. They like knowing what they're doing. I think way happier. They don't like being changed a bit. Like they like know exactly what the way the whole thing works, you know. And they get used to it and they enjoy it. Originally it would have been a lot more jumping than flat, but the way it's gone now, it's kind of gone half and half, like, yeah. And like, sure, it's great. I don't mind either way because I enjoy both codes. Like, it's a challenge either way.
The way it's gone now, is that, like, do you think is it easier in either code? I suppose there's no easy winners in Ireland.
No easy winners in Ireland, but I would say definitely the flat has kind of it's definitely opened up a bit more to, it's, you know, you can buy, it's wide open. You can buy a yearling at a competitive price, and you can be very lucky. There's a good market for selling. It just, it seems like the flat is an easier option to get in on. You could be lucky to get a good horse in it. These are 2 horses that both come back from injuries. They're doing a bit of road work. We have the road here, which is great. So when they come back from tendon injuries, at least they can, the old way of hardening up tendon, trotting the road for a month or 6 weeks is a big help. So that kind of, it's a road that runs alongside the gallop and no traffic, which is a rarity around
nice
here.
And quiet.
Yeah, like, you'd love to do the road work around here, but it's just too built up and too busy. They'll do 4 or 5 miles trotting there down the roads, which they're 2 horses that had nice form of 1 foot, but they picked up tendon injuries, so they had to stop, and and start all over, get time and start all over
Yeah.
again. Young horses, a horse on the outside is a horse by Snow Sky, 4-year-old unraced. Did his first bit of work the other day and goes alright. Horse on the inside was placed in a couple of 5-year-old Pie the Pints. And then the filly in behind actually is a filly that came from Declan Greeley. She actually came out, we got her out of a claimer, and she won 4 races for Deck. And she just got a little bit of a break after that, and she's on the way back there now. She seems like a grand filly. She won 4 races for Deck, and she's listed place. So the man that bought her hopes to breed off her. She's out of representing there. It's called Natural Luck, so she's done well for Deck. A horse called Favori Logic, and he was a right out. He's 9 years of age now, but he's won 3 or 4 races, and he's a grand horse. He's back again. He was placed a couple times, came up, got a bit of an injury, but he's back there now. You do your usual, James. Do the 2 and 2. So 1 lap just to stretch your legs, and when you go in, then give her a good wash. So they'll all get organised there now, and then they'll do an exercise, and then someone up the straight. Filly there runs the weekend, dance night and day. She's a nice filly. She'll run Sunday. She's won her last 2. She's she goes well. She's had to win the last 2. She won at the Nace over 6, and she won the last day at the Curragh over 6.
And she's entering the Brownstown, is that, is she?
Yeah, she is. She entered the Brownstown, so the plan will be to try and get a bit of back type for her. But I suppose the value of this race was just so much that we said it was worth having a go in a handicap before you try and chase the black type. But she looks like she's a homebred by the Joneses. They're from Clane. They're only over the road, and gosh, she's been a lovely filly to have. She has a good family, and obviously they keep a couple of mares, and this will be a mare that they're hoping to breed off.
You mentioned Talk in the Park. He's in this.
Talk in the Park, grand horse. Yeah, he excuse me. He won the last day maiden hurdle in Downpatrick, and he was entitled to win that because he kind of decent winter form for Mags Mullins. He came to recommended from Mags, and he looks like a horse that the lads from Galway are involved in him, the Monroes, and they'll hope to run him in Galway now. There's a 3-mile handicap on the weekend of the Galway, and that's where the plan he'll go there. They'll be mad for him to run in Galway. So and he'll jump a fence too. Again, I'd say he was running on very heavy ground. I was only talking to Mags about this at the Land Rover, because she taught a lot of him as well. But he got kind of his goodish runs, but yet wasn't getting his head in front. But I'd say we stopped with him then for a little break, and he's the last 2 runs he was second and he won, and both on kind of nicest ground. So I'd say that's probably the key to him.
Yeah, you'd have a few for Galway, so.
Yeah, hopefully, like the Monroes kind of are good supporters of ours, and they always love to have a couple of runners in Galway, so kind of hope to go there. Like Valantis was beat on the line a second last year, didn't get much of a run, was a bit unlucky, and he hopefully is on the comeback. He picked up a bad enough injury during the winter, and that stopped us, and he's going to come back from that. The plan is always to go back to Galway, but yes, we're kind of chasing our tail to get back there as well. So he's there.
Hurdle he worked out well as well. Fine margin a second, has it?
Yeah. And he's been ultra consistent, and then he got hurt. But so we're hoping now this year. The plan is to give him a run on the flat before he goes to Galway now. So he might run next week. Give him a run over 1.5 miles in a maiden, and then see if that'll leave him right then for Galway. The filly, she's not a bad filly. She won a couple first and then got a leg injury. She's back. She was second last day in Roscommon. Filly called Champella. She won 3. She won a bumper and a maiden hurdle and a novice hurdle. Then she got a touch of a leg and was off there for last year. But she's slowly getting back into gear. She started off this year and finished mid-div. Then she ran well in Punchdown at the festival, finished 5th or 6th, and she was second the last day. It was a bit unlucky. The lads that own her are they're mad for racing. They have a lease actually off a man from Wicklow, so he'll get her back to breed off. So she could win again, it'd be great. But she's a nice filly, Champs-Élysées filly.
Candana is a fun horse as well.
Yeah, he's a right out horse. He and again he wants good ground, so he's a real summer horse.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of lads from Dublin on him. He came back this year and was second first time down Patrick. Then he won the beginner's chase in Tramore, and he's in next week in Tipperary. He could run next week in Tipperary over 2 mile 7, and then they'll just have a bit of fun. He's a real fun horse, like you said. He's not to run him on soft ground, any slow ground. He wants really good ground. So they're knocking great crack out of him.
You a lot of syndicates in the air?
There would. There'd probably be maybe 7 or 8 bunches of the lads in syndicates. Yeah. And then we set up the Ross O'Sullivan Racing Club this year again. Had it going there a couple of years ago. It went a bit quiet, and then I got 2 horses this year, 2 2-year-olds. So they're going to start off next week. We've got kind of 20 lads involved, kept it at 20. So kind of they're involved in 2 horses, and they're 2 2-year-olds. One is the James Garfield. His full brother won as a 2-year-old last year. he's nice pedigree. And we have a dandy man who's down one and was placed. I was listed placed. So there are 2 Grand 2-year-olds. One's going to start off next week in Nace, that Saturday week, and the other one's going to start off the following week in Navan. So kind of got 20 lads. That's kind of, and we put that together ourselves by just kind of advertising on social media and doing all that. So we kind of
It's nice to keep it restricted to 20.
yeah, I kind of thought the same.
Yeah.
I thought the same. Easier to keep everyone happy, and you know, when it gets out too big, it kind of gets hard to manage. So, well, for me anyway. So we said we'd keep it at 20, and yeah, I think there'll be a bit of fun in them, like, you know. So 2 nice 2-year-olds, bought 3 altogether on spec, and one just wasn't cutting it, so we put him away and gelded him, and the other 2 looked like they were shaping up. So I didn't want to put something into the race club. I didn't think they were going to be good enough to kind of do something nice. So these 2 are definitely, and they're auction qualified, which is even better. Like, they weren't deer 2-year-olds or yearlings, so they're able to be eligible for the auction maidens, which is a big help in them. So.
And what's your kind of goal? Do you want to increase numbers or increase quality or both? I suppose?
Yeah, I think we've 60 there now. It's probably a nice number. Probably, like I said, just get it up that we'd have that every horse that you could look at it. I'd love to be able to walk down the barn and that you could look at every horse in the yard and say they're definitely going to win a race, rather than find it a bit pointless or demoralising having a horse that's just not really, you know, it's hard to face into people or if they're not going to be good enough, you know. So you'd like to have the quality, I suppose, that every horse has a nice, you know. I know it's not easy, but that they're going to be winning the races, like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to do that. At the minute, I feel like it's getting there a lot. You know, it's improved a lot and it's getting better. The type of horse, and you know, we've had a good run of it there the last while. So kind of when you walk down the barn, you know, it's nice to look over the doors and say these all have been really, really competitive. I think sometimes you kind of you can get a bit lazy or casual with the bunch you have in, and you kind of need to refresh everything up. So maybe that happened there over the winter, and that's been a big help too. I think I'd say kind of younger, fresher horses from all different sales, whether it be a horse and training sales or things like that. So kind of that's helped a bit. And do you know what? It gets everyone kind of G'd up. Like I said, even the lads in the yard, to be kind of, you know, new horses in. It's exciting, yeah. Like we've good bunch of lads there, and they're kind of with us a long time. So they love being part of it as well, you know. Big quilly, look like the gelding, nice. They were all so well done at the sales that they're already riding. That James was riding that filly there, does all the braking on them, and he has them going already. It's great. That's a Crystal Ocean filly, nice pedigree, and a Shirocco filly. Good cat, all nice.
All came from the Land Rover.
All came from the Land Rover, all riding already.
And what will they do? Just quiet, cantering for a while?
Just figures of 8 and left and right and turning, and just even get them through the river. And some days they'll just be potting away, but just goes to show what way you get them out from the sales when they're so well done, like, you know. 3 of them prepped so well, and 3 of them riding already, you know. A horse that's our stable star, I suppose. He won his 2 races. He won his maiden at the Curragh, came with a good profile from France after being placed 5 times. Won his maiden at the Curragh nicely, on a bit of an ease on the ground, slow ground maybe, and then went out and won a handicap, which he got no run through the whole race and still came out and won without getting a smack. So I suppose he's been really progressive. We went to Ascot last week, dreaming of the big time, and the ground, I'd say, was just too quick. It's a horse that handled really soft ground, and handled good to firm at the Curragh, but I said it's a different type of surface. It's just good to firm at the Curragh. It's just not the same with Ascot. So I've come back thankfully okay, mounted the race well, got him home, sounds the bell, legs are okay, just didn't act in it. So hopefully we can get back on track. I'll wait now till we get a little bit of an ease on the ground. But I think looks like he's still a very good horse.
Yeah.
I think he's a horse that he's rated 100, but I think, you know, there's still wriggle room off that.
Have you any targets in mind, or just going to wait and see with the ground?
See with the ground.
Yeah.
There is even a couple of races in the next couple of weeks, but again, it'll all be ground dependent. And I'm just going to be tread carefully now, get him back on track. Like you said, doesn't seem, at home, he seems to come out of the race well in Ascot. So I just put a line through it, and then it was a once off. 3-year-old by Kodiak. We had a double the same day. He's actually a lovely horse. He won over a mile, but he's probably going to be a mile and a quarter horse. and he's in next week in Roscommon. It looks very competitive 3-year-old race, but I still think he's a nice horse. He's rated 81, and could even make a mile and a half horse.
Yeah.
It's nice, like him. Good pedigree.
He went up £7 for that last one, was it?
Yeah, he went up £7. He just wouldn't want to run him on too quick grounds.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of an ease in it. So, but he's 5 scopy horse and looks like a 3-year-old. Yeah, he's a guy that down horse has never ran a bad race. Always placed or knocking on the door. Likes it easy on the ground. He's a shouldery, heady horse. Probably wants soft ground, but very unlucky. Like to win his maiden, in Killarney, he got £5 to win his maiden. He won off 66. Got put up to 71 after winning a maiden in Killarney. Then got £2 for being in the box for whatever way the Killarney race worked out. So he went to 73. So then he goes on then to Bourne, and again runs into a horse of Jim Bulger's, that gold tier that's to win in the last 3. It won one beforehand, so it's win 4 altogether.
Not a nice one to bump into.
Very unlucky to bump into him. And then the other night went to Ballinrobe, and again Flickin ran into a horse with a kind of a good profile, and they were 8 lengths clear to third. So he's been second his last 2 runs and a bit unlucky to be second. He's now up to, he got £6 for being second the last day. So he's now up to 84. But again, a horse might be suited by back end of the year on slow ground. Probably we definitely get a mile and a quarter, if maybe a little bit more. So, but nice horse to have. Yeah, Fair Taxes is a horse that was a really quirky kind of character. He takes a little bit of minding, nervous type of horse. But when he puts it all together, he's a very quick horse and could turn out to be a nice sprinter. He won the last day over 6 on a bend in Fairy House and just got home over the 6. He's probably going to be best going back to 5. Definitely on a straight track anyway. Got £8 for winning the last day. He's rated 81. He's still only a 3-year-old. The only problem with him is it's hard to find 3-year-old only races at that distance.
Yeah.
And really they're at a disadvantage, because to take on a hardened older sprinter is actually a harder thing to do than taking on a 3-year-old or an older horse over a further distance. But yet just the last 3-year-old only sprint race was the other day in Nace, and now there's none now I haven't seen one in the next 2 months. So that's going to be the difficulty with him. He's probably going to have to learn his trade taking on the older horses, and he might get beat once or twice by doing that. But yet I hope down the road that he could turn out to be a nice sprint horse. He's quick, and like you said, he has to keep his head right, wears earplugs just to keep everything just nice. But again, he's progressive, handles quickish ground, and I think there's a bit more to come from him. This is a great filly that came from the Book 2 in Tadstils last year. She's had 1 run. She ran Leopardstown. Behind Bedtime Story.
Oh, not a bad one, so.
So she probably needed the experience on the day. I like her a lot. Her work is very good. Growing at the minute, she's going to take a little bit of time, but she could be a nice filly down the road. Could take another run just to really know her job. But her work would suggest that she's working to a good rating, and I think she will definitely keep him up for the future. She's good temperament, enjoys her work, and should improve as the year goes on. So Warrior Brave is as consistent as you can get. She's a great old horse for us to have. Won 3 last year. Loves 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs on a bend. Not a fan of the straight tracks really. I suppose he can get his own way a little bit on the bend, and he kind of suits himself. But he was great last year. He went down to a nice low mark and climbed back up to kind of where he's based now, around 95, 96.
Yeah.
Loves getting out from quick grass. Went to Ascot last week and ran respectively in the Woking, and he's got a rating that you can go to all the big days with him. The lady that owns him loves her racing, loves going racing with him, and he's a great horse for that. She's got to Ascot 3 years in a row. He's a good old character. He ran very well on the strap run before Ascot. He was only beaten a length in Fairy House in a conditions race, and he'd be hoping that there'll be a conditions race somewhere along the year for him again.